Okay. Cool. Right. So just finding a comfortable seat, whether the legs are crossed or out in front. And just take a moment to ground through the sit bones. You might just remove any fleshy parts, just grounding down there. And just give those shoulders a roll up, back and down. You might do that 2 or 3 times, just loosening anything in those shoulders and neck. Hello, Poppy, yes. To come and join in. And then just squeeze the shoulders in and up. You might take a big inhale as you do that, and exhale. Let it go. So you can inhale, squeeze in, squeeze the face, squeeze everything, and exhale. Let it all go. And then just find length through the spine, length through the neck. Close the eyes if they're not already. And just take a moment to tune in. Noticing your breath this morning. So just finding your rhythm of breath. Just going to mute you, Peter, just for the recording. And just noticing where the breath is travelling this morning, whether it's deep or shallow, long or short. And just guiding the breath a little deeper into the belly if it's not already there. So in through nose, belly rising, filling up. Out through the mouth, letting go. And just do this 2 or 3 times, just finding maybe a little length with each inhale and trying to match the exhale to the inhale. And then you might just take a few rounds of Ujjayi breath, so keeping the mouth closed, passing the breath through the back of the throat. Find that oceanic hissing sound, cat purring sensation or snoring sensation at the back of the throat. Still filling up the belly with that inhale and dropping the belly on the exhale. Poppy still eating stuff off the floor. Hope you can't hear the chewy noises. So just releasing the breath, allow it to be any rhythm of inhale, exhale, and then just slowly start to bring your ear to one shoulder. You might even just push the opposite arm gently away to increase the stretch down the side. And then inhale back to center, exhale, ear to opposite shoulder, hand to floor if it feels good to increase the stretch a little. And then back to center, and then just rolling the chin across the chest. So just take a few little semicircles, just rolling your way side to side. Getting rid of any clicky, clunky parts, just allowing that to release. And then leave the chin to the chest and just roll down in that seated cat-cow. So really rounding the upper back as well as the lower back. And as you inhale, lift and open through the chest and collarbones. And as you exhale, round down, chin to chest. Inhale, lift and open. And exhale, round down. Just moving between the two in your own time with your own rhythm of breath. And then come back to center. Land one hand down, lift the other arm up and over. Find that nice C shape into the spine, soft through both elbows. Inhale, sweeping up, exhale, tipping over to the other side. let's just take that dynamically. So inhale, through center, down to one side, exhale, over to the other side. So we just keep that gentle bouncing motion going, keep the breath steady and slow, but just finding that little side bend, side squeeze, and swapping sides. So you might just reach that little bit more each time you kind of land one hand and the other arm reaches over. And then as you come back to center, we'll take a little twist. One hand to the opposite knee, lift tall through the chest and crown head. You might look round if it feels okay to look to the back of the room. And then gently through center, twisting to the other side, lifting as you turn. And then back through center. So whilst we're here, we're going to circle from the hips. So keep the spine long this time, just circling round. And you'll start to feel a little bit of opening in the hips. You might just change the cross of the legs if they've been there a while. And reverse your circles. I kind of did two and then reverse, but let's reverse the other way again anyway. And then coming back. So just rolling over the knees, coming onto all fours. So spread the fingers nice and wide, knees underneath the hips, shoulders over wrists. And just take a few little circles over the wrists and hands, warming up those. And reverse your circles back the other way. Turn the fingertips out to the outside edge, take a little rock side to side. And then you might just take some weight through the knees. You might tuck the toes under, bring the fingertips towards the knees. And you can rock or just hold if it feels better to hold and stretch through those forearms. And then as you release each wrist and hand, just give them a little gentle shake out to release. And you might just take a few little gentle moves with the palms facing up, backs of hands, pressing carefully on the floor. More weight through the legs than the hands here, just allowing those wrists to go in a few different directions. And then release. So tucking those toes under, lift the hips up and back and walk into that first down dog. So just walking one heel then the other, so bend one knee then the other, have a little wriggle at the hip side to side. Find a few big inhales, long exhales. And then lift those hips up and back, find length through the legs, heels pressing down gently towards the floor. You can have soft knees, let the head dangle down, maybe a little nod yes or no. Just allowing the head to let go here. Just take a big inhale, sigh out, let it go. And again. So look between the hands, bend the knees, walk, step or jump those feet towards the hands, come to the halfway lift. So feet are together, long through the spine, and then let the head dangle down into your forward fold. Walk the hands up the shins, keep the spine long and flat as we come up all the way through the thighs, walking up to stand. Good. So we're just going to find length through the spine, roll the shoulders back, a little bend in the knees, squeeze at the bottom, palms wide, crown of head tall. And just close the eyes here, feeling into all four corners of both feet, just noticing how we are here. Just check in with the breath again, noticing whether you can breathe into that belly easily or not, and maybe it's a chance to just massage that upside down Y, so that sternum, just finding that central point. You could use knuckles or gently even tap here, giving it a little bit. Sam. Sam, hello Sam. We're already in. Sorry, we started at 1:45. You must not have quite got the memo. But we're stood up, so have a little wiggle round if you need to first. So just getting into the sternum, a little massage in there. And then coming down to that central point where the ribs split, just have a little massage into either side there. Opening through the diaphragm, waking it up. And then with our nice posture, feet together, little gap between the heels, squeeze bottom, roll shoulders open, and then maybe one hand onto the belly, just feeling how the belly rises as we inhale and drops as we exhale. If you don't need the hand, just stand tall with that mountain pose. Long exhales. Good. And then blinking open the eyes if they're not already. Reach those arms up, palms touch overhead. And dive forwards, tipping from your hips into your forward fold. Inhale to the long flat back. Exhale to fold. Walk, step or jump back to plank or chaturanga. You can drop knees if you need to, hover down as you exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog if you feel ready. Tuck toes, lift hips or press hips back first to down dog. Beautiful. So just let the head dangle here. Really separate those shoulder blades away from one another. Lift the hips up and back, find length through the spine and backs of legs. One more breath here. And then look between the hands, bend the knees, walk, step or jump, feet in, come to that halfway lift. And exhale to fold all the way back down. Sweep the arms wide and up, palms touch overhead. And exhale to release. Beautiful. So we'll go again. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, dive, tipping from the hips into forward fold. Inhale to the long flat back. And exhale, fold. Walk, step or jump back to plank or chaturanga, hover down. Peel the chest, cobra or up dog. And press back to down dog. Reconnect to that breath. Let the head dangle. Look between the hands, bend the knees, walk, step or jump, feet to the hands, come to that halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Sweep the arms widen up, palms touch overhead, and exhale to release. Beautiful. So sit the bottom back. We'll sweep the arms forwards, finding our chair pose. Maybe just checking that your toes are in front of your knees. And if your bottom's sticking out, tuck that tailbone under, long spine. Arms might stay forwards to keep that spine long. If lifting them arches our back. One more breath here. And as we exhale, lift the hips, drop the head. Inhale to that long flat back. And exhale, fold. Walk, step or jump back to plank or chaturanga. Hover down. Beautiful. Peel the chest. Cobra or up dog. And press it back to down dog. So left foot turns out 45 degrees, right foot steps through. Give it some help to get there if you need. Press into those hands, feet, not your hands. And sweep the arms up. And sink into that front knee. Nice. Find your breath here. And if you feel that rib cage sticking out, just gently draw it in slightly. Length through spine. Gonna stay for one more breath, just enjoying our warrior one. Oh, I'm so pleased, the blue tits. I've got a little birdhouse, I'm sure I've told you this before, but the blue tits are using it. It's so cute. They jump in and out randomly. Very cute. So, land those hands, frame that front foot, step it back. And as you exhale, hover down, knees lifted or lowered. Might come up to up dog this time, lift those knees and shins. And press back to down dog. So right foot turns 45 degrees, bring the left foot through, give it some help if you need to get there. Press into the feet, sweep the arms and sink in. So really maybe feeling that back half, having that stretch. Again, if you feel ribcage, mine always flares, so I have to remind myself to just gently use those upper abs to find a flatter stomach, flatter lower back. One more breath. Beautiful. Exhale, lower those hands to frame front foot, step it back. Hover down on the exhale. Cobra or up dog. And press back to down dog and find your breath here. You might take those long sighing exhales, really let go with the breath. So in through nose, belly fills up, exhale through mouth. Let it all go. One more breath. So looking between the hands, bend the knees, walk, step or jump, feet in, come to that halfway lift, and exhale, fold, let the head dangle. Inhale, sit the bottom back, sweep the arms forwards, tuck that tailbone under, arms up if it feels okay. One more breath. And then release the arms down, and find your mountain pose. Just peel that chest back, shoulders back, tall through spine. Nice. So we're going to take a little back bend here. So feet just hip distance apart. Bring the hands round behind, fingertips pointing down, and squeeze elbows together, open through the chest. Squeeze the bottom to press the hips forwards, and lift the chest high to create that back bend. Breathing. One more breath here. And then tip from the hips and find that forward fold. And this time, use your peace fingers just hooking onto the inside of the big toe, circle with the thumb, and draw those elbows wide, drawing the chin towards the shins. Let the head dangle, maybe a little nod yes or no again, just relaxing the neck. Knees can be a little bent if they need. Trying to draw that chin towards the shins, and find your breath. One more breath here. So untuck fingers and toes. Just coming up halfway, fingertips might be on the floor, hands on the shins for that flat back. This time palms of the hands under the soles of the feet, and bend your knees as much as you need to get those backs of hands flat completely, and drop the head down, and then lift the hips if there's some space. And remember, we can have a little massage of our thumbs with our big toes by squeezing the big toes into the thumbs and wrists. And just let that head dangle, almost sort of separating the upper back by pulling the hands and feet, although they're locked together, kind of pulling the hands up. With that upper back traction, everything loosening through there. So carefully unravel hands and feet, walking up through the spine or coming halfway to the flat back, and then lifting up. Sweeping the arms away, rolling shoulders back to find mountain pose. So we're going to find triangle pose, so right foot stays forward, left foot 3/4 step back, turn that foot in slightly and just open out chest and shoulders and hips to the long edge of the mats. So send the left hip backwards, reach forwards over that front leg, keep it straight or a little soft bend if you need, and then peel that left shoulder up and back. Just stacking the arms in line, beautiful. And we might look down just to keep that neck nice and neutral and keep us steady. Imagine we're toasting the toaster, not touching either side. Keep breathing. Beautiful. So now use that top arm just to reach you back up through center. Change the cross of the feet. Right foot becomes the back foot, front toes, left foot facing the back of the mat, which is now the front of your mat. And open out to the long edge. Right hip backwards, reach forwards over that front leg. Finding length and peeling that right shoulder back so that we are lifting and finding that long line, stacking the arms. So as always, it's better to be up here and still in line, still not touching either side of the toaster, as opposed to down here and dropping forwards. So just keep that peeling back with that right shoulder. Beautiful. One more breath here. Use that top arm to lift you back up, pivot back to the front of the mat, step in, find your mountain pose, and length. Beautiful. So left foot long, step back as long as you can. Slight turn in with that back foot. Right foot stays at the front, and again we're opening out to the long edge with our chest and our hips. So sinking in, first of all, just through that warrior two for a moment, and then coming to extended side angle. So top arm, we're trying to get that nice long line between our top arm, left side of the body, left hip, left knee, left ankle. And you might slide the right arm down if you want a little bit more, holding the ankle or just gently resting. You could always wrap that top arm back and find a bit of a half bind if it feels good, and peel that left shoulder back. You might look over the left shoulder if it feels okay to do so. Keep finding the breath. You might go for the full bind if that bottom shoulder can come towards the knee. Reach the bottom arm up and under to find the hand behind, if that feels like it's somewhere you can go today. Nice. Keep breathing. Here for a little while. So release those binds. Take a big sweep of the arms back up through centre. Straighten the front leg and just pivot the feet round. So right foot slightly turned in and left knee bent. Toes towards the back of the mat. Sink in, reach forwards over that front leg. Rest the elbow to the knee. Right bicep to right ear. Extended side angle the other way. Find the breath, maybe wrap that top arm back around for a half bind, keep looking over that right shoulder behind you. Maybe slide the left arm down the inside of that left leg, maybe the shoulder comes to the knee and that arm can reach up and under to find the bind. Beautiful, keep dropping that right hip down, yes. 3, 2, keep breathing. Release the bind, straighten the front leg, hop around the hands, spin back round to the front, and step in. Lovely. So right foot stays forward, just a short step back. We're finding our pyramid pose. Just turn out the back foot slightly, but square off the hips and shoulders to the front edge, and reach the hands around behind you. You might just grab wrists, elbows, or forearms behind you, or reverse prayer if that's in your practice. Just keep that chest back lifted, and fold forwards with a long, flat spine. Keep the sit bones pressing back evenly. You might stay at 90 degrees. You might keep folding over that front leg, chin towards the shin. And find your breath. So gently release your hands and bring them down to the floor and drop the head further if that feels okay to do so. And then we're just going to step that left knee towards the right knee and just bring the left foot to the bottom. So we find our little flamingo pose. So we're balancing on one foot and two hands. Head is dropped right down, crown of head kind of pointing towards the floor. If you feel you can be a real flamingo. Hold on to the calf, maybe just with one hand or both, or maybe even reach your wings back as if you're flying. Breathing, so it's all about the balance on that one foot, working the stability of the foot and the ankle. And then let those arms drop down to support. And then straighten that left leg up and back and keep dropping the head down. So we're in our standing split, so we're really trying to lift that back leg high. Drop the crown of head towards the floor. Awesome, guys. You might want to test your balance here, taking one hand to the calf or both hands. Keep breathing. And then just bend that left leg down, and you might just heel toe the feet slightly wide, have a little wiggle of the hips, keep the head low, just take a little dangling pose. Just let the legs release. Keep all that blood flow going to the head. A nice way to be inverted, get all the blood flow to the brain and all the master glands in the head there. And then just walk that left foot, or bring both feet together again, find your balance. Just come up to the flat back, so lift the head slightly, and we'll step the right foot back just halfway, so we're in our pyramid pose again. Keep the hips nice and square, fold down over that front leg, let the hands come down. So we're in pyramid first, hips are pressing back, chin towards the shin of the left leg, the front leg. And then just slightly shift the weight forwards onto that left foot, right knee towards left knee, squeeze them together, bring the right foot to the bottom. Flamingo pose with hands down. Maybe you bring the hands off to test your balance, work all the proprioception in that ankle and knee. And you might let the hands come back down and then start to lift that right leg up and back, finding our standing splits. So we really have to press and lift out of the left leg. Good. Have we had enough of being upside down? This is a long time, isn't it, for the head? All that blood flow will be so good for our brains. We're going to feel amazing in a minute. And then start to bring those feet back together. Let that head stay low just for a moment. And then we're going to walk up super slowly through the shins. Keep the chin tucked in. Keep the spine long. Keep the chin tucked right in as we come up to lift a little bit higher. Keep looking down so that we can slowly not get head rush, basically. And then lift the head and eye gaze last. Oh, and just take a minute to stand in your mountain pose. You might close the eyes if you feel stable. If you're feeling a little wobbly, then obviously please don't close your eyes. Just fix your eye gaze somewhere, maybe just in front or just down in front. Just notice how you feel having been upside down for all that time. And just slow the breath down. You might notice that the breath has increased, or maybe it's just me because I'm talking. But just noticing how that feels. And just allowing a bit of recalibration. Nice. Beautiful. Let's take a little bit of a wider stance. So bring the feet wider than the hips, heels in, toes wide. And just start to sink the knees wide, slide the hands down the legs. So the fingertips are going to point down towards the feet. Nice. And then we're going to drop one shoulder forwards, lift the other elbow and look underneath that elbow. So we're just taking a little twist, little squat and twist. Inhale, lift through center. Exhale, drop the other shoulder forwards, twisting and looking under the opposite elbow. Inhale as you lift, so just use your own breath, your own rhythm of breath to move side to side here. So get that inner thigh stretch, nice shoulder twist and stretch, upper back stretch. Inhale to center, exhale twist. Make it your last one. So as you come back to center, just drop the hands down, walk the feet in a little bit and find that yogi squat. So you can always prop your heels on something if you need. Elbows into the knees, lift nice and tall, long through the chest and spine. Hands to heart center. And just slow the breath down again. In through nose, out through mouth. One more breath here. So gently and carefully bring those hands around, let the bottom drop down, walk the feet slightly forwards, and take a windscreen wiper of those knees. Rolling on along the glutes, give them a little massage, let the knees rock side to side. And then bring the soles of the feet together and just reshuffle sit bones and draw the soles of the feet in. So you can use your thumbs to open the soles of the feet like a book, squeeze outsides of the hips and glutes to draw the knees wide, lift tall, and then fold it forwards. Keep the elbows tucked in or use the elbows to help keep those knees a little wider if that feels good. Imagine that chin would land in front of the feet. Spine stays long, so we want that nice long flat back feeling as always in yoga, or most of the time. Sometimes we round the spine. I'm sure this is why my back's so much better though. All this strength of keeping the spine long, but still breathing. And then gently and carefully come back up. So we're going to straighten out the left leg, keep the right foot where it is, and bring the foot to the inside thigh. And just again, ground through sit bones, remove any fleshy parts. Imagine you've got a wall behind you, both sit bones are even behind, not kind of twisted. And then lift nice and tall through the spine, lift the arms and fold over that front leg. And the hands might just rest or hold or reach around to grab the foot if it's there. And you might even cross the hands over to square off the shoulders. Quite like to stick some fingers between toes to spread my toes. So again, chin towards the shin, we're looking to the big toe, our drishti, our eye gaze. We fix the eye gaze to concentrate the mind, slow it down. Calm the monkey mind, the chatter, and find that focusing. Knowing the monkey mind will join back in, so just when it comes, maybe ask it to leave. Focus back on the point with your eye gaze. So gently and carefully walk your hands back up, and we'll take a little twist. So left hand to right knee, lift as you turn. Nice, and lift tall. And you might sort of look round behind again to find that little extra twist. And then as you come back to centre, just centre yourself off into the middle of your legs at the moment, so you're kind of at a diagonal. So you can drop your shoulder towards your knee, you might grab the shin, or you might hook onto the big toe with the peace fingers. Reach the right arm up and over to find that C shape, so very much side bending, nice. And we might try and drop the ear towards the knee, that top arm might even reach over and grab the foot as well, if we're super flexible this way. Nice, Peter. I am not. I wish one day. The arm can just dangle, kind of adding a little gentle weight to open the side body. Keep breathing into that space between the ribs and the hips. So as you inhale, gently coming back up, sweep the arm, and then we'll change the cross of the legs. So bring that right leg out, left foot tucks into the inside thigh, straighten, squeeze through that quad to lift the heel of the right foot, toes pulled back, lift nice and tall, reach the arms up, and then tip forwards from the hips, folding, maybe again crossing arms over, maybe posting some fingers between toes to spread those toes, draw that chin towards the shin, and just tune into the breath. So our mind will always want something to do, so let's give it a focus of the breath, focus of inhaling, filling up, exhaling, letting go. Maybe you count the inhale, exhale, or maybe you just say to yourself, inhale and exhale in your mind. One more breath here. So gently releasing fingers and toes, just walking your way up, take a little twist, right hand to left knee, lift as you turn. Keep finding that breath. One more breath here. And then gently, as you come halfway back to center, drop the shoulder towards the knee. You might grab the shin or hook onto the big toe. Lift that left arm up and over. Find that nice side bend. Reaching, opening that left side body, breathing into that space between the ribs and the hips. One more breath here. And then sweep the arm up and come back to center. So just draw the legs in. So we're going to keep that left foot sort of tucked in and under, and then bring the right knee to the chest and give it a big hug. So reach the right shoulder on the inside of the right knee and bring it forwards as far as it will go. Then start to turn and twist the hand and wrap it round the back of that leg. So you might stay there. You might be able to reach the other arm round so you find the hand behind if you've got the bind. If not, just hook on. But if you've got the bind, lift and twist back to the centre. So we're trying to draw both shoulders square and draw that chin towards the floor. So the right sit bone might lift to do that, and that's okay. We're trying to fold forwards whilst getting that nice shoulder stretch. One of the Marichasanas. Find the breath. come back up, drop the sit bone, release the arm. So we're going to go into one of the other versions on the same side. So we're going to take the left arm and wrap it around the right knee. So hugging the knee, bring the knee as if it would fit under that armpit, and then we can just twist towards that left knee. And you might bring the elbow on the outside if you want more. It's my bad shoulder, so I won't be able to show you, but you might be able to twist and find the binder on this side if it's in your practice. Don't worry, if not, just staying with that twist or hugging the knee to find the twist. One more breath. Lovely, and then as you come back to center, lift the knees, keep the ankles crossed, press into the floor, lift the hips, see if you can kick and swap the legs. Good. So right foot tucks in, left heel comes to the front of the right ankle, knee hugs in, and we wrap, first of all, left shoulder on inside of left knee. So you might lift that left sit bone, reach forwards, shoulder and knee, glue together, wrap the arm round. It might just hook on. Maybe the back arm can reach round to find the hands. If we've got that bind behind with the hands, lift the left sit bone, shoulders square off, chin towards the floor to fold here as well. So keep finding the breath. Keep peeling the shoulders away from the ears. They'll always want to kind of tuck up towards those ears. So keep finding length through the whole spine, neck included. One more breath. And then as you come back up, land the sit bone, unravel the arms. So wrap the right arm round to hug the left knee in, give it a squeeze. Maybe take the elbow to the outside of the knee to twist some more. If the shoulder is close to that knee, then we can start to wrap around to find the bind on this side. Just enjoying that twist. If not, and try and lift through the crown of the head, lift tall through the spine so the core is engaged to keep you tall. Nice, keep breathing. And then gently and carefully coming back to center, just unraveling. So just cross the ankles, knees are lifted, lift the hips, give them a wiggle and pop them back down on the floor. You can keep the legs as they are, just uncross them for a moment. So we're gonna take that left leg out long and hug the right knee in and just let the knee drop wide. Lift the foot up and away and then bring the heel to the inside of the hip crease. So finding our seated half lotus. So we can stay here, keep that left hand on the toes, right arm wraps round to find the elbow behind perhaps. And that's our seated half lotus, our Ashtanga version. So we can stay here. You might be able to grab those toes with the fingers. And if you can, grab the toes with the fingers. I can't, but then that left arm would be free to fold forwards. If you want to try a little bit of a different modified half lotus, bring that bottom foot so it's underneath the knee. And we might just be working at pressing the knees wide. The knees might be up here and that's okay. So just working at pressing them down. As long as there's no pain, this is a lot for the ankle, the knees, the hips. If we want more, if we can't quite feel enough in our hips, we might fold forwards to rest. And we can stack our fists for our head or prop ourselves on a book or a cushion. Just take a few breaths into those hips as we're folded into our seated half lotus or our modified half lotus. So gently as you start to walk yourself back up, you might prop yourself with your hands just walking up, carefully release that top leg especially. You might circle the ankle, give the knee a little rub and swap over. So you can straighten the right leg and tuck the left knee in. Drop the knee wide, bring the heel away from the body first and then bring it over with that foot flexed as well. So heel is trying to land in the hip crease. If you need to put it nearer the knee, bring it nearer the knee. It doesn't need to be right up. So this might be where we stay right hand on the toes, left arm wrapping round, trying to find the toes. Doesn't matter if they're out there. Or if we did on the other side, we might tuck that right leg in so the heel lands underneath the knee and kind of knee crease there. So we might be working at lowering the knees wider. Maybe we fold to really get into that left hip now. And again, we might rest the head or prop it onto our hands or something like a bolster or cushion. So slow the breath down.
soon as we slow the breath, the mind should follow.
And then gently press into the hands, walk your way back up. Lovely, and then just release that top leg carefully, give the ankle a little circle if it needs, knee might need a little rub, and release, good. So, finding some rocking and rolling if you have room in your space. So, hug the knees into your chest, lift nice and tall, balance on those sit bones, keep the chin tucked in, round through the spine as you roll back. Try and slow it right down, so as you come back up, we're using the core to lift up to that balance point, keep the feet off the ground. So, chin tucks in, we're trying to slow it down on the way up and on the way down. We want the control on the way down and that slowing coming back up. So we're massaging the spine. If you want to do the Ashtanga variation, you've got room, you might start to turn on each rock. So we need 9 turns. Don't ask me why, still never found out. 2. So we just keep turning at a slight angle to see if we can do a full circle in 9 turns. And just notice which way you've chosen to go. Interestingly, we don't have our special side. I won't make you go back the other way, but sometimes it's nice to balance back out. Did you do it in 9? Good. And then rest the feet and sit tall on the sit bones. Poppy's upside down, doing a big stretch. Oh, cute, you're cute, yes. So feet tucked together, lift nice and tall, lean back this time so we get that kind of straight line between our body and our thighs. And then we can start to balance the feet out, finding our boat pose. So we might stay here, we might just support the legs, lift tall through the chest so the spine is long. If you need balance, hands on the floor. You might straighten the legs, you might hold and have legs straight, but try not to clasp the legs, try and just be gently holding and breathing. Good. You might release the hands. 3, 2, we're going to lower super slowly. So roll that lower back, keep those shoulders and upper back off the floor, heels just off the floor, a little dish shape. And then let everything land down gently. Try not to collapse, good. So press the heels away, press the palms away overhead, find that full body stretch here. Find a big sigh, let go. And then just hug both the knees into the chest. So give them a bit of a squeeze. You might rock side to side, just massaging the lower back there. Slowing the breath back down again. So hands on top of the knees, guide the knees outwards and around in opposite circles. So we just start to find some movement into those hips, opening them into both directions, reverse of circles. And then straighten out the left leg along the mat, keep hold of that right knee, give it a squeeze in towards you. And you can walk your way down the back of that leg or hook onto the big toe, press the heel to the sky. So support the leg wherever you need, or use that toe to hook on. It doesn't matter if the leg is a little bent. So keep pressing the left foot into the ground and left leg down onto the ground, grounding there. Right heel towards the sky, and then start to take the right heel wide. Keep that left hip and left shoulder grounded on the floor. Imagine someone's holding you gently here. Keeping that side down. Inner thighs getting there, stretch. Bring the leg back to center, then lift the head, neck and shoulders so the nose comes towards the knee, knee towards the nose. Good. So as you bend into that leg, just gently soften that right leg. Use the left hand and peel it over to the right side. So we find our reclined twist. Right arm's trailing behind us and we're looking to that right hand. So we're twisting the whole spine to look over to the right hand. Let that right knee drop to the left side, and anything that clicks and clomps, just let it go. Breathe gently into that belly. One more breath here. So gently and carefully unravel back to center. And you might lift the hips and then land them back evenly on the floor. Right leg lengthens out, left knee hugs into the chest, give it a big squeeze, and then walk the hands down the back of the leg or hook onto those big toes with a piece of finger, press the heel to the sky, straighten through the leg. Right hand can keep resting on the right leg if it's not being used, just trying to ground through that right leg. Left heel to the sky. Pull the right toes back as well so that foot's also engaged. And then start to take the left leg wide. Keep the right shoulder, right hip grounded down. Keep finding the breath. One more breath here. So as you bring the leg back to center, lift the head, neck and shoulders, nose comes towards the knee of that left leg. And then gently bend into the back of that left knee, release the foot. Bring that left knee over to the right side with the right hand, left arm trails behind, and we look to that left hand to complete that reclined twist. Breathing gently into the belly. Our diaphragm twisted now, but still trying to breathe deep into the belly, nothing in the chest. One more breath here. So as you unravel back to your center, just let that left leg come back round and lift the hips and lower them back down. So just check you've got some space behind you. You might need to shuffle down on your mat. So we'll just take a little bit of shoulder stand. So if shoulder stand's not for you today, you might just lift your hips, place the backs of the hands under the bottom, find our waterfall pose here. Heels towards the sky. Really lovely restorative pose. Otherwise, tuck the chin into the chest, keep the back of the neck long. Bend the knees, and you might use your hands to lift your hips, or you might just use momentum to bring the knees up and over. But first of all, walking the feet to the sky, walking the hands down the back of the body towards the shoulders, so we get that lovely tall spine. Finding our tall shoulder stand. Still breathing into the belly. Belly rises, belly falls, even though it's upside down. So start to take those feet overhead. If it feels good, you might bend the knees to do that. You might let those legs dangle overhead. They may or may not touch the floor behind. Just keep finding your breath here. And then when you're ready to come down, super slowly, keep the knees close to the head. You might support the hips, or those hands might land on the floor and press into the floor to slowly, slowly, slowly lower. Rolling one vertebra at a time, keeping control, using the tummy, the back, the legs, everything squeezes when the hips land. Straight through the legs, lengthen the legs as they slowly lower down. See how slowly you can lower them under control. And when they're just off the floor, hover the feet, 3, 2, and then let the heels land. And rest. You can just take a little small back bend by bringing the backs of the hands under the hips, legs out straight, roll onto the outside edges of the shoulders, lift the chest, and the back of the head can rest onto the floor. So we're in that little fish pose, just a little gentle back bend after being in that flexion of the spine with a plough pose where we went overhead. Just find your breath here. Lift the chest and the chin, roll off the elbows, roll the body back down flat. And then bring the knees up, feet slightly wide or as wide as your mats, and find some windscreen wipers here. So you rock the knees to one side, the head can roll to the other side, and roll side to side. So a massage in the base of the skull, getting those knee rocks, nice twist happening into each side. And if there's anything you'd like to do now just to complete your practice, any final moves, bit of knee hugs, rocks, rolls, circles, happy baby, anything that feels good. If you're ready to, otherwise, maybe you just lie those legs out. So the heels are in, toes are rolling wide. Back of the head and neck lengthened, resting the head down. Arms wide away from body. Just bring the shoulders down away from the ears. Backs of the arms rested, palms facing up. And let those fingertips just gently curl in, eyes can close. And Just start to tune back into that belly breath. So inhaling, belly rises, fills up. And exhale, belly falls back in towards the spine. In through nose, out through mouth. Nothing in the chest and all into the belly. Slowing the breath down. Remembering when we do that, the mind will follow. And you might just allow the mind to focus on a simple mantra. Your mantra could just be inhale, exhale, and saying it slowly, softly in your mind to cue the breath. Or with your inhale, you might repeat the words so, hum, and with your exhale, so, hum. So hum being Sanskrit for I am, or I am what I am. So perhaps it feels more natural to just chant in your mind, I am, I am. So hum, so hum. Softening away any tension in the face, the jaw. Small muscles around the eyes relax and let go. So hum, I am. Relax the hips, arms heavy, legs heavy. Supported and held. So hum, so hum. Just gently start to bring awareness back to the fingertips and the toes. You might circle the ankles and circle the wrist. Just find some gentle movement into the extremities. It might feel good to take that full body stretch with those arms overhead, or hug the knees into the chest and give them a squeeze. And just rolling onto the right hand side. I've got to roll away from you, sorry. Should turn round. Give yourself a little hug, a little squeeze here. Just give yourself one thing you're grateful to yourself for. And then just slowly coming up to a seated position when you're ready. You might keep the eyes closed, or just that head can stay bowed down. We'll just close the practice with a few breaths together and one on. So just taking a big deep inhale, filling up, side out, let it go. Inhale deeply, exhale completely. Inhaling to om. You might bring the hands to the forehead, wishing, may my thoughts be clear and calm. Fingertips to lips, may my words be truthful and kind. And hands to heart center, may my heart be open to give and receive all the love in the universe. Namaste. Wow, that was clicky.
Thank you.
Clicky feet. Thank you.